Today I'm using this Dollar Tree tray and other inexpensive materials to make an easy and customizable leather look valet tray. It's a perfect gift for Father's Day or any occasion. Hello my sweets, it's Keisha. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for choosing to watch my video. Stick around to see how you can create this stylish and practical tray without spending a fortune. Let's get started. For this project, I'm going to be using a Dollar Tree tray and a printout that I made. I'll also be using this brown packing paper along with some watered down glue. I'm also going to be choosing one of these to use, which is in between the Waverly antique wax or the folk art home decor wood tint. I'm not sure which one's going to work better, so I'm going to test those out. And then I also have some matte Mod Podge. To prepare my tray, what I've done is given it a sand with a sanding block over the front and the back of it. And once I was done with that, I gave it a wipe down, and then I came back with some rubbing alcohol to clean off any of the dust that may have remained. Here I have my tacky glue that I've watered down. Unfortunately, I don't have any ratios. I just squeezed a bunch into the bowl here, and then poured some water over it and mixed it. It's to about maybe a reduced milk consistency, but that's going to vary upon the type of glue that you're going to use if you do happen to recreate this project. So next, what I've done also is I've torn up some of the packaging paper that I have. Now the paper that I have is actually from some packages that I've received that I save. But you can, if you don't have any packaging paper, you can, the last I checked, I'm not sure, I haven't been to a Dollar Tree in a while, but they do sell these on a roll. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, it's typically where I would get it from is like where they have the poster boards and school supplies and stuff like that. So I've torn these off, and I'm going to be keeping the straight edges kind of around to the back just because I don't want any of the straight edges. What I'm going for here is a leather look. We'll see if I achieve that. But you want to tear off little pieces like this and then crumple them up and then uncrumple it. And that's supposed to give you kind of a look of leather. And then you're going to take your mixture here of glue and water and start applying it. So I'm going to paint this on here, and I kind of knew that was going to happen because of the nature of the material that I'm using. So I am going to paint some also on the back of the paper. And then I'm going to stick it down. Okay, and then you want to come over the paper also and get that stuck down. Now you don't want to press too hard just because, well, I don't want to press too hard because I'm looking to get the texture of the crumples still left in there. But we'll see how it goes as we go along here. So I'm just going to continue on doing this. So now I'm going to get another piece. And I'm going to crumple it. Uncrumple it. And then I'm just going to come over and overlap this piece. Okay. And I think with this curve here, what I'm going to do is cut a notch out. And then I'll piece another little piece over that spot where I cut it. To kind of hide that straight line on the front. I'm just going to take a smaller piece and crumple it up and uncrumple it. And just mend that spot right there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and continue doing the front of this until the front is complete. And then once it's dry, I'm going to flip it over and cover the back. And then once the back is dry, I'll be back with the next step. I finished covering the tray and did the front and the back here. And I let it dry overnight. This corner here still looks to me like it may be a little bit wet, but I'm going to move on. Hopefully that'll be okay. Just a couple of, or maybe one thing, I was finding that I was getting bubbles in the paper. Excuse me, sorry. And so what I did was I took a pin and poked the bubbles. It would have been easier if I would have saw them to begin with, but they were already kind of sealed in. So I took a pin and poked the bubbles. Then I rubbed a little glue over it and used my finger to kind of smooth out the air in the bubbles. So this is pretty flat now. Of course, it is kind of raised in areas. Here, I'll bring it up so you can see better from where I was overlapping. Oh, the other thing that I was thinking, when you're going around the edges, you want to make sure that you do have a long enough piece to keep going, because I did have some areas here where the paper was a little bit short coming from the front to the back, and it was giving me a little bit of trouble to get stuck down. So I worked through that by mainly just keeping an eye on it, and I just kept pressing it down. Excuse me. And that kind of helped to do that. You just kind of want to be careful, because there was in some areas where I kept working it that I tore it, and then I had to patch it. But it's pretty easy to patch here, as you can see in this area. I did have to put a little patch over there. So next, what I want to do is kind of give this a little bit more depth, and I'm trying to decide in between the fact of whether I'm going to use the Waverly Antique Wax or the wood tint in walnut. So I'm actually going to turn it over to the back and kind of test it to see which one I like better. And so what I'm going to do is, I have a shop towel here that I'm going to just dip it in and rub this on in this corner here and see if I like how that looks versus this one here. Shake this up. I really dislike when the cardboard does this. Ugh. I'm going to come over in this corner. I'm feeling like I really like the wax better. I suppose I don't have to choose one or the other. I could see what both of them look like. Let's see if I... do the tint first. Okay. Feeling like I'm gonna do the wax just because to me it's warmer. It feels warmer. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but in person, this one feels a little cool to me and this one feels warmer. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with the antique wax. So let me get it together here. Okay, so again, I'm just gonna go with the Waverly antique wax, and all I'm gonna do is just rub this over the entire thing to give it just a little bit more depth and dimension, and hopefully further enhance the look that I'm trying to go for, which again is a leather look. So I'm just going to go around dabbing this on. And if it gets too heavy in spots, I can, take the clean side and rub it back. So I'm just going to continue on doing this until I get the front and the back completed. Also, excuse me, also you are not limited, or I'm not limited, you are not limited if you decide to recreate this project to using just a wax or a tint. You can also use a wood stain to achieve the look that you want. Also, you could use watered down paint as an option. So it's not just limited to using any, like a wax or a tint. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this off camera, and once the wax has had a chance to settle in and dry, I'll be back with you. The wax has had an opportunity to set up, and I believe it's dry for the most part on here. I did have an accidental spill all over my work table and got the back part of the stamp, but from here I'm going to be working on the top. So what I have next is a printout, and I made these on Canva, and they are just printed out on regular paper, and I just took the word dad and different words that kind of are descriptors of dad and put them all around, used different fonts and different sizes, and then put it on a wood background. Again, I don't pay for Canva, so everything that I did here was free. And so if you're interested in maybe a little tutorial on how I did this, please let me know in the comments, and I'll try to screenshot how I did it. But anyway, I did one this size to fit on the inside, so I wanted to see like which size I would like better inside of here, and I think I like the smaller one better, just because the bigger one actually covers up all of it, pretty much all of the leather. And so I'm going to go ahead and use the smaller one. Now, with that being said, since I did just print it on regular paper on an inkjet printer, I went ahead and took it outside and used the Podge matte spray and sprayed a couple of coats on the front and the back, so that, fingers crossed, hopefully the ink doesn't start running once I start getting this down with Podge. So I'm going to be using Podge to stick this down. But first, what I want to do is kind of line it up a little bit, and then I'm going to put some little marks because I'm always afraid of going over like the waxes and stuff anymore because I've had problems with adhesion. So I'm just gonna kind of roughly try to get this central on here. And then, where's my pencil? Okay, I use this one. I'm just gonna, see, the pencil doesn't even want to write on there. Okay, how about some disappearing ink? Water soluble. I'm just gonna mark a little bit inside. I can't even, okay. This area, and I'm just going to give it a light sand just in the areas in between the areas that I've marked, just so that the Mod Podge has something to stick to. I'm just going to mark the corners, and it's not going to be some big dramatic thing, hopefully. Okay, so I can see my marks there. And I have my sanding block here. This is the same one that I used in order to sand the actual metal down. So I'm gonna just come across here. And give this a little bit of tooth for the Mod Podge to stick to. It's gonna take a little bit of water here and wipe up those little marks. Just so that I'm sure they're not going to show through on the front. Okay, so I've gotten those up. So what I'm going to do now is come through with the, oh, like I just opened this. Sorry. Okay. So I guess now at this point I should mark off where this is actually going to sit. And I know it's not going to be perfect. 1 3/4. Wait, was that 1 3/4? Yeah, 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 1/4. And 1 1/4. Okay. What am I doing? So now what I'm going to do is just peel this up and apply the Mod Podge in a thin, even layer. Flip this side up. And I just want to make sure that all of my edges are stuck down well. So I'm going to let this Mod Podge set up just a little bit longer, and then I'm going to come over and do a layer over just the inner portion of it, because after I do that, I want to take it out and use some more of that Mod Podge matte spray to seal everything in. So I'll be back with when I'm done getting it sprayed down. The tray has dried, and I went ahead and put 3 coats of the spray, acrylic spray sealer, excuse me, on the top, and I did 2 on the bottom. So this is what the bottom is looking like, and the top. And the last thing that I'm going to do is I have these rubber bumpers that I got off of Amazon, and all I'm going to do is put 1 in each corner. That way it doesn't, it's pretty smooth, but you know, you just want to protect your furniture or wherever this is going to be. And I also wanted to add, because I didn't say this earlier, I do have a link in the description box for this this particular printable that I made, printout that I made on Canva, and it's completely free. It's free for you to download if you want to use it. And so I have those on there. So this is what it looks like, and I think this is just really nice. So some of the uses that you could use this for, in addition to, like, you know, this with like another gift of, you could use keys, use it for keys, loose change, watches, maybe a candle, or the colognes, or grooming essentials in the bathroom. This thing just has a lot of uses for it. Fortunately, I do not have any like men's things in the home, so the final picture will just be of this. So I just excuse me, sorry. I just want to thank you all so much, those of you who have been watching. I really appreciate your support. It can't be said enough. If it weren't for those of you who watch and like and comment, and I do see a couple of shares, I wouldn't be here. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart, and please stay tuned for the final pictures.
I hope you enjoyed this easy and customizable leather look valet tray project. It's a fantastic Father's Day gift or an anytime gift for anyone special. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already for more DIY projects. Thanks for watching. See you next time.